then, actually, because first time I met you, I was 15 years old. I'm 30 now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I met you at Ring of Honor Battle.
ROH.
What's up?
Okay, yeah.
Ring of
But I
Honor.
was going to say you must have been ROH, yeah.
Yep, Ring of Honor Battle of the Icons at Inman Sports Club in Edison, New Jersey.
Oh, nice.
That was when I think you were teaming up with Aries and Strong against Davey Richards, Delirious, and Shingo, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that was a cool match that night. I actually liked that better than Samoa Joe and Homicide, which came right after. So you guys really tore the house down that night.
That's a big compliment. Man, some of those old ROH, like Samoa Joe's, the Brian Danielson stuff, those are some of those classic matches ever.
I know. Seriously, it's like it blows my mind just how much time has passed and like how far those guys have come and all that. Just seeing how everybody's all at different points in their life, but like at that point in time, you guys were all making the magic of Ring of Honor.
Yeah, that was a good time for indie wrestling, just wrestling in general.
It really was. It was like firing off on all cylinders, man. Like no matter where you go.
I think because it came at such a weird time, because it was a weird culmination where ECW had just ended, so you had like kind of this like a niche amount of fans, well bigger than a niche, but you had like this amount of fans that wanted that like crazy, just fun, hardcore like ECW style.
Right.
But then also at the same time, kind of more old school wrestling was going, like technical, like Brian Daniels wrestling was coming back.
Right.
And both came to a head in like those early 2000s ROH. So I just think it was such a great variety show, because if you wanted a 6-man scramble spot fest, you were getting it. If you wanted a Mac Classic, and then you were getting, you know what I mean? So just ROH at that time, it was just really special because you had so many styles and just like that just came together like all at once. It was almost like a Black Swan event in ROH in those days. Like,
yeah. Exactly. And like I think that's what made me appreciate Ring of Honor, and it made me appreciate wrestling in general, because I grew up an Attitude Era kid. So like that was my very first exposure to wrestling. So like after all that crazy shit stopped happening and like they were starting to get back to normal, it was like a transition for me to like actually learn. It's like, okay, this is, it's not going to be a bunch of crazy shit all the time, and then that like I feel like Ring of Honor made me get into the technical aspects and the storytelling and just seeing a bunch of guys just like go crazy and just have great matches.
yeah,
it was amazing. So I gotta say, so the very first time I saw you, other than Battle of the Icons, so the very first Ring of Honor show that I went to was the 4th anniversary show where you wrestled Ricky Reyes. Did you?
Okay.
Did your neck hurt at all after taking that moonsault off the top rope to the floor?
No, I didn't get hurt a bit at all.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Ricky always apologizes. He's just like, man, I was too scared to catch you. But I was like, in all honesty, that was like, I don't know why I called a back and a half moonsault to the outside with one catcher. Like that wasn't dumb. You know what I mean? But we got there my flight was late. I got there 5 minutes before we had to go on.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to throw something together, like, oh, what's crazy that we can pop the crowd? Like, I know I'm back insult to one guy, but like, yeah, though, when you're actually catching someone and they're spinning in the air, like, and you got the worm's eye view, it's scary as hell. So I got the sidestep, but oh man.
Oh yeah, I do remember that Bobby Cruz mentioned that you were coming off a flight. Wow. So yeah, no, because that fall looked so nasty, and I was like, holy shit! Like, how did he get up from that? Man.
Yeah, it's one of those things that always like that in wrestling. A lot of times, stuff that look worst doesn't hurt. Those double moonsaults off the cage onto Abyss, and like I hit him and I bounce off, and like it looks like I just murdered myself. And I was like, I didn't get hit. I didn't get hurt at all. Like,
nice, man. Hey, you've been doing it a long time. So I mean, but what you been up to these days, man? What's going on in Jack Evans' world?
after I got released from AEW, just been back on the indies and just grinding it out again. Nothing really too special going on.
Like, where are some companies where we can find you at?
Well, tomorrow I'll be wrestling for Impact against Big Log Pierce, GCW, AIW. I think they're the ones in next week. I'm trying to think of all like the promotions. Yeah, just kind of random indies, really. I'm around. I just did MCW, which I was happy about because no one realizes, but Maryland Championship Wrestling has been around longer than I've been wrestling. I've been almost wrestling for 22 years, so I'm always amazed at that. Like, because in all honesty, MCW in there and like even ROH a little bit. At that time, most indie promotions did not last. You'd have like a one-off show, maybe it lasted 2 or 3, and they're out of business. Like now, you have a lot more indie promotions that have been around a while. You know what I mean? But like promotions like AEW in Chicago, MCW, even ROH at that time, it was so rare for a promotion to like last years and years. So I was happy to finally wrestle for Maryland Championship Wrestling because I was like, man, these guys got to get props because being an indie for over 22 years, that's hard. Like that, and to actually like have a business model that makes it profitable and everything.
Right.
So
like, what do you think? Why do you think that's the case that, indie promotions didn't last long back in the day, or like it was kind of like a one-off thing compared to now?
I think because a lot of indie promoters back in the day had this mentality where they'd save up a whole bunch of money, get a whole and almost do a super card, and then just try to make profit off like the gate and everything. But the thing is, I think that would maybe work a little bit better now. But back then, in all honesty, unless you were just some XWB guy or like maybe a Bryan Danielson, like the top ROH guy, like those super cards just didn't draw. What drew was like consistently being good and then just getting your local fan base first.
Right.
And so I think like that's what like NCW did. They had their local guys. They worried about their local promotion, their local everything. Maybe they'd have one fly-in or something. You know, now obviously it's more that they've grown. But a lot of times back in the day, like people would just get these stacked cards. It must have been like a $50,000 card on talent alone or whatever. And like I just don't know what their business plan was because like you'd have to sell so many tickets and run such a big arena and so many, you know, to get your money back. As with now, it's much bigger merch buyers now than they were then. And B is then like you got IWTV, YouTube, like there's just a whole bunch of extra ways to get revenue for an indie promotion. And I think a lot of indie promotions have realized that unless you really got the money, like those super cards just don't work. Like get a couple of good fly-ins, make sure you have a strong local talent, and just like don't worry about being a national promotion. Worry about your local area first. And so I think that's why a lot of indie promotions are doing better now, is like, or lasting longer, I should say.
So are you a subscriber of IWTV? Everybody's been talking to me about it. I wonder if I should subscribe or give it a shot.
No, but I actually think because it's the same thing as you. It's just like, man, everybody's on IWTV. Like, we'll do a promotion, like, how you can see on IWTV, da, da, da. So I honestly think that I'm just going to go ahead and get the subscription because, in all honesty, it just seems worth it because, like, there just is so much wrestling on there that, like, I'd like to watch it just to kind of, I don't know, what's the word, like, just to kind of figure out the meta of wrestling right now, like what's hot, what's popular, what kind of the style or whatever is going on in the indies. So I think I am going to join IWTV just because it's just grown to the point where it's just like, man, 3/4 of the indie promotions are on it. Like,
you know,
or Fight TV is the other one.
Oh yeah, Fight TV. That's right. That was another one somebody mentioned. And I might have to get into it then. I'll have to probably like cancel Netflix for a little bit and then, you know, take this as a substitute for now. You know,
Netflix comes free with my cable package, so I'm okay.
Word.
The other thing about Netflix is all I watch is Peaky Blinders and Better Call Saul, and they're both ending this year. Better Call Saul's ending next Monday.
D-
So I'm like, man, in all honesty, like, can I get a cheaper cable package now? I don't need Netflix anymore.
I was gonna say, don't spoil Better Call Saul. I haven't finished season 4 yet, so I gotta catch up.
Okay, I won't say anything then, because
Yeah.
once you get to season 6, it will change how you view some of the characters. That's all I'll say.
Oh my god, I can't wait. I have seen all of Breaking Bad though, and I've seen.
Your favorites. Oh god, oh man, I want to spoil.
I had to like stop people from spoiling Stranger Things too, because it took a while for me to get caught up on Stranger Things, but I finally got that. Are you into that at all or no?
No, I think maybe I need to be, because my mom is super into it, and generally my mom, that's just not her style. Like, she doesn't like she likes sci-fi is about, but like fantasy and horror and like, I don't know how to explain, like, that's just not her scene. Like, that she likes dramas and stuff, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But she loves that Stranger Things. So I'm like, man, for my mom to love this much, it must be good, because it's not her style at all. The Mandalorian, I think I'm gonna get disowned if I don't watch The Mandalorian soon.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched it either. So you and me both.
Yeah, because my mom, anytime I talk to her, do you know who Grogu is yet? I'm like, no, I don't know who Grogu is.
No. What about you and you have a wife and kids, right? Or
yep.
I was gonna say, any shows you guys like to watch together?
No, we have completely different tastes. My girl watches like this thing called La Casa or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like a celebrity reality show TV, like Big Brother or whatever. And like, I'm just not into it at all. Like, I'm sitting there watching people talk crap while I'm running on a treadmill and stuff. I'm like, get this out of here. So no, we don't really share very many shows. But there's one thing. My girl absolutely generally hates stoner comedies, but she loved Friday. So that's how you know that. I couldn't believe it. She hates stoner comedy. She hates American comedies completely. Like, she actually
really
thinks. Yeah, because she just says they just always do over the top goofy stuff, and that they don't actually tell jokes. That it's just all like fart humor and like that's literally like what she says about American comedies. She does not like them, and like Superbad and stuff. Oh, she hated it.
Oh, I love Superbad. Oh my god,
it's the dumbest show ever. Like Lovin', why? But Friday she loved. So everything's forgiven. If you like Smokey, you're good with me.
Dude, it's funny that you showed her Friday because
it was supposed to be a troll pick. It was it made me watch some stupid movie that I ended up not liking. I can't remember. It was called A Bell. It's a Mexican movie, and I hated it. I hated it so bad. So then I was purposely like, oh man, I'm gonna just find whatever that she doesn't like, and I'm gonna force her to watch it, making me watch that show A Bell. And then she loved it. She thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I'm just like, man, you complain about Superbad having goofy stuff, but then you're laughing at a crackhead catching Smokey crapping in someone's garden. Like,
exactly. Like, how does that add up? So wait. So, dude, did she know that was your catchphrase before you showed her Friday?
No, she didn't.
Ah.
She just thought it was like something that just happened.
Because before I saw Friday, I had first heard that quote from you.
That's actually a weird thing, is that a lot of people don't actually realize when I say it now that it's from Friday. And like, because I remember someone who hadn't seen Friday, or even or at least they knew of its existence or something. But yeah, no, kids these days think that's a Jack Evans quote. I'm like, no, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that was so crazy. So like, how did you decide to like incorporate that as a catchphrase? Is it just because you love the movie, or was it were you just trying to think of something? Tell me about it.
Well, I had I could break dance, and then I joined the show Mat Rats, and they're like, oh, you can break dance? We're giving you a Malibu's Most Wanted gimmick. So I had that, yo, what's up, dog, da, da, da. Right. But, like, it was just so over-the-top, cheesy, like, it wasn't working. So then I tried to take the gimmick and kind of, like, and still make it that comedic, like, Malibu's Most Wanted style, but just a little bit cooler, and I'm like, man, like I just kind of want to like be Smokey, but in the ring or whatever. But I really couldn't figure out a way to project that character in the ring without just coming out being a but ROH is not going to let you come out like a blunt or something so like like that was the extent of my trying to incorporate a Smokey character into the ring was I just stole his catchphrase.
And so like what about your favorite entrance music? I always loved your entrance music in Ring of Honor, the various entrances that you used. What has been your favorite?
I want to say Papoose, Born to Win.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that one. And there was another Papoose song that used to come out too. I cannot remember the name of it. And I think that one might even been better.
Was it Alphabetical Song?
I forgot all about Papoose. I gotta go and catch up. I don't know what he's been doing the last 10 years after Nasalina Dream came out. Anyway, but yeah, it's one of those two Papoose songs. Because especially at that time, I was so into the New York mixtape scene.
Yeah.
So like Papoose, Saigon. I was a big mark for them, so I loved coming out to that music.
So yeah, and that was the first time I had heard Papoose too, and I learned that was on Madden 2006, right? Born to Win.
Yep. That's what wasn't Madden. I think it was. Yeah.
That would make sense because when I first saw you, it was in 2006, and you were coming out to that, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
and
I'm pretty sure it was a Madden game, but yeah, it was right around that. It was definitely it came out on a sports game, so when I first heard it.
Yep.
But,
Yeah, Born to Win was one of my favorites that you came out to, and I also loved the 911, the Tupac uppercut intro. I thought that was.
Oh yeah. I love that Tupac cover. I don't actually I do, but I don't think it's good entrance music, that Tupac song uppercut. So yeah, I would. Like I converted the MP3 into a WAV file and then added the intro uppercut and all that.
So you did it yourself.
Yeah, but like in the most generic way. I had I think it was called Soundwave or something. It was just a little thing that would convert MP3s to a WAV file, and then you could mix and chop up or whatever you want to do to the WAV file, and then convert it back to an MP3. And so,
wow, so that's a true definition of independent. All those years, I would have thought it was maybe Gabe or somebody that put that together, but no, that was that
No, that was me. I love that uppercut intro.
Same.
I'm a little skinny guy and battle lions 3 times
my size.
Yeah. So, but then again, I like the song, but then after the intro, that Tupac uppercut, I just don't feel it was a good theme music. So.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, Uppercut's a good song, but not for wrestling entrance music.
I think especially if you come out high energy dancing, hey guys, like I did.
Yep.
It's very slow. It doesn't work. So.
Mm-hmm. What were some of your favorite moments or memories from Ring of Honor during your time there?
Teaming with Roderick and Generation Next as a whole was some of my favorite. That was just a really good time. And then, not any real specific incident, but it was just such a good, fun locker room to hang out in and everything. And especially, man, if there was a killer show and you did a killer match and everything, and everyone's back in the hotel, all on Cloud 9, it was just a good time and a good locker room. In ROH, my favorite time or thing for me was definitely Gen Next and teaming with Roderick by extension. But as a whole, it was just a very fun locker room and fun time, and everyone was really motivated. The only thing about ROH is, and PWG and GCW have this kind of feeling now, is it always felt so much more you had so much more pressure on you than a normal show. You had to perform in ROH, or Gabe would get rid of your ass and replace you without problem. Son, you see these Canadians? We don't need you.
That's right. No, I could definitely see it because I've seen the CM Punk and Samoa Joe DVD where they're imitating Gabe and how he got mad at an FIP show where he was oh my god, they fucked up the whole show.
Gabe was actually like a nice guy and usually level-headed, but there are just certain spots and certain angle things, and you could not mess them up, and you were going to get the spazzes. And the thing is, it was so uncharacteristic of Gabe, because if you knew the guy, and he's like kind of low-key, and like, even if he's mad at you and under normal circumstances, he won't really talk shit, he won't really like talk crap, like, directly on you, kind of insinuate or whatever. Mm-hmm. So then when you saw like something got messed up bad and you saw Gabe actually just lose it, it was so uncharacteristic of him that like Gabe became the most intimidating person in the world. Just like, oh damn, I'm staying away from him. Around like, so yeah, that's what I'm talking about Gabe. He brings you spazzes, but then like actually 95% of the time, 99% of the time, like very mellow. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, when those Gabe spazzes came out, it was something. It was noticeable. So don't mess up with your favorite angles. I'm telling you. Especially if it's a Japanese fly-in where they had to spend a whole bunch of money and everything for it. Mm-hmm. Oh damn! You better not mess that up. You better not mess that up.
What was like one of the notable spazzes that you noticed from him? Or that stick out to you?
I cannot remember exactly what it was, but I just remember one time I came to the back in Maryland, and he is just yelling. I can't even remember who. I want to say it was Ref Hansen, but but he was just spazzing to death and throwing everything around, and that was the first time I'd seen a Gabe spaz. But I can't remember what it was about, truthfully. I do remember, I'm almost positive it was in Maryland. Mm-hmm. But then there was another one, and again, I don't know quite what happened. We just had something went wrong. I don't know if it was in the match, but something involving Kobashi went wrong. I don't know if he was unhappy. I don't know if something got mad in the match. But there was something pissed Gabe off involving Kobashi. And again, I don't think it was a mess up in the match, though. I think it was something behind the scenes, like someone upset him or something. I don't know. And I saw a spaz on that one. I don't really know what it was about.
It was during that weekend, though, that he was there, like against Joe and all that?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Man.
Yeah. And I remember, and when he came, like, he had really bad knees. Mm-hmm. So the ROH ring was actually pretty really bouncy. And so they actually had to wrap all the beams in, like, I think it was just blankets, just to make it so that it wasn't as bouncy. Like, yeah, so they did a whole bunch of stuff. And then the weird thing was, Kobashi was actually, like, super nice and shaking everyone's hand, mm-hmm. and then they just guided him to his own personal locker room. And I got the feeling, I was like, I don't think he wants to be away. Like, he wasn't acting like that, you know what I mean? So mm-hmm. I always thought that was funny. Because, like, Kobashi comes in, everyone's, I'm a big fan of yours, whatever, like shaking his hand, whatever.
Right.
And then they just guided him to his own personal locker room, and you're kind of like looking back, like, wait, what? Like, like, no, man, don't give you that Japanese treatment, man. You're the senpai.
So how did you initially like get into ROH? Like, who found you, or like how did you find them?
Feinstein got a hold of Ted for the scramble cage match or whatever. I think that was his first match. I don't think he had one before that. Mm-hmm. But anyway, and I think Ted was actually supposed to have a different partner originally, and something got messed up with that guy, so then Ted recommended me. And then I went to ROH for the 6-man scramble, I think it was the name of the show. And like, I did the double moonsault off the cage, and like, my performance was good in the match, like everything you needed. So they brought me back, but Ted had like, he said he's got a concussion, but after the match, even though he had lost, he kept going up to the top of the cage and doing moonsaults, and then like playing to the crowd, and like, it really looked like he was going out of business for himself 100%, because like everyone else had left, and we just lost the match, and we're the last two people in the ring, and he, you know what I mean, like, he's cheering up the crowd like nothing happened to him or whatever.
Yep.
And then Carnage Crew came out, and I had nothing to do with this. I knew what he was doing was dumb. So there used to be footage of it. You could see me, like, I tried to grab his arm and get him out of the ring, and, like, he just pulls away and he can't, and all of a sudden Carnage Crew just comes in with a belt, and they start whipping the ever-living crap out of me, and then they start whipping the ever-living crap out of his head, and then I was just like, all I could say was, it wasn't me! Like, and like, this is the funniest thing about wrestling. I'm getting hit with a belt, but I'm selling it like it was a work. So like, and I was like, wait a second, why didn't I like cover up and everything? Like I was literally feeding Shoot belt shots. Like,
oh my god, that's what I said.
Then I went back, and again, this was not my thing. I didn't know something about the cage or anything.
Right.
And Samoa Joe was pissed off at Ted actually. But Jim Cornette gets a hold of Ted, like right when he goes to the back, so he's talking to him separately or whatever. And so Joe goes off on me, and so like me and Joe are sitting there yelling at each other's face, and my whole thing was, I'm just not backing down. Like I'll get my ass kicked, but I'm not backing down. But so like I'm trying to stand my ground in his face, From the back of my mind, I was like, fuck, I hope he doesn't beat my ass.
Not by Samoa Joe.
Yeah, no, but I know I'm standing my ground. I'm not backing down. So like I stayed in his face, and like I was trying to defend myself. Like it wasn't me. You should be yelling at me. You're being a fucking asshole. You know, like just like one of those. So I've done so much, but. And then afterwards, though, we were completely cool. Like he was totally mad at Ted. And he realized, like, oh yeah, no, dude, this kid didn't do anything. Like he just did exactly what he was supposed to. So we were totally cool after that. We still are. But yeah, like for a little bit, right when I came back, I was like, what's going on? I just had what should be this like career-making moment. Instead, I'm getting whipped by a belt, yelled at, nearly kicked by Samoa Joe. Like,
and that was.
Oh my god! And then our ride left us in the parking lot, and we actually. Oh, what was his name? A cool ass dude. He used to throw these stand parties. Can't remember his name. Greg saw it.
Greg. That's right.
Do you remember him?
I never met him personally, but I remember him on the Ring of Honor message board back in the day. So I think we're talking about the same Greg.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Like he was like a well-known fan, and he used to host all these fan parties. And like really, really cool guy, really nice dude. I don't remember his full name. Greg something.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was either.
I keep wanting to say Greg Boussard, but I'm like, wait a second. That's the designer for 3D rounds.
Man. Yeah, it was a crazy match, though, over at... and that was in Jersey, too. That was in Elizabeth at the Rexplex.
The Rexplex, the greatest wrestling venue of all time!
You think so?
I love the Rexplex. The Rexplex. What a venue.
I used to go skateboarding there when I was a little kid because they had a skate park.
Yeah, I tried to show off to some kids and I freaking screwed myself up on that.
Oh, really?
I'm not very good of a skateboarder, but when I was a lot younger, I used to actually try, like after Tony Hawk 2 when I saw Rodney Mullen, I used to try some freestyle skating. So like I could do like a little, like, you know, I'm standing on the board, and then like I flip it over under Casper, and then do a little like I know it's technically a 360 flip, but like and land on it, then I go on the rail and do it. But then my big coup de grace was I could ride up, and then I could flip the board like with my hands and land back on my feet, like the classic Rodney Mullen.
Wow.
And that was my trick. That, because you know what I mean? Like I couldn't flip very well unless I was standing, but like moving, it was super hard. Couldn't really heel flip or anything. So my big trick was always that handstand move. And I tried to be slick and do it up the like the little bank or whatever. Oh man, the second I hit that corner, it completely messed up my handstand balance, and the board went shooting out from underneath me, and I did a total back of the head like right at the Rexplex in front of all these little kids. So trying to impress them. And I was just like, okay. So the handstand into the finger flip is something you do only on flat ground. Do not try to do it up a bank.
Dude.
I couldn't believe it. Instantly, when I hit that little angle, my entire balance just got thrown off. And like, you know, on a skateboard, your balance gets messed up and rolls out from underneath you.
Yeah.
Imagine that, but on your hands. Like that's what happened. And like, it hurt. I remember that.
I was gonna say that hurts like a motherfucker.
No, I'll tell you actually the worst is Jacksonville. Me and Angelico before the shows, because we'd be there for like 11 days on these tapings and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So like almost every day, even did shows, even like show days, we'd go to this little local skate shop that had a skate park behind it. And Angelico can skate pretty well, so he's doing all this crazy stuff. So like I don't know, it just motivated me to try like way better stuff than I could. So like, man, I was practicing like down the quarter pipe and freaking these like I've never ridden. Like this is like my fourth or fifth time in a skate park in my life, and that's including the Rexplex.
Mm-hmm.
So man, and Helico being so good convinced me to try bigger and bigger moves, and I've never eaten such crap in my life. Like after the final time, I tried this little like rock shaky, and the skateboard shot out from underneath me.
Okay.
I smashed the back of my head, and the skateboard, it rolled across the entire, like where I was, there's no one around, so you'd think it'd be safe. But it rolled across the entire skate park as a guy was riding like fakie, like backwards or whatever.
Yeah.
And it hit his skateboard and sent him flying off. And like, thank God he tucked his chin, because this could have been like really bad.
Oh
and
my God.
like, so after that, like I was so embarrassed. And like this guy, he was actually on his lunch break. He just showed up to have a little skate session on his lunch break. Mm-hmm. And I completely, oh man, he wasn't messed up like injured, but he was hurt. And I was just like, oh, God, I've never returned to the skate park.
And I was going to say about the Rexplex, you'll never guess what they turned it into, because that closed down in 2005. It is now.
I want to close down.
It is now.
What did they turn it into?
It's now a Raymore and Flanagan.
What's a Raymore and Flanagan?
Raymore and Flanagan. Oh, it's like a furniture store. Is that?
Oh, you have them?
Yeah. Oh, wait.
That must be the biggest. But the Rexplex is huge. How much furniture do they have in there?
I actually haven't been in it yet, because it's right in Elizabeth, right by the IKEA. But I mean, I live in Edison, which is like 20 minutes south of Elizabeth. But
yeah, I know Edison. I lived in New Jersey for about a year.
You did? Where at?
So, mainly in West Milford and then Littleton, Hoboken.
Oh, wow, that's like two polar opposites. You lived in the boonies and then you lived in the city.
Oh, man, West Milford is the best kept secret, though, man. This guy, Ash Samuels, man, his freaking little town, that West Milford, had so many awesome girls.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I was loving the boonies. Plus, I'm from a small town, so, like, I'm from a town smaller, I think, than even West Milford, so...
Parkland, right?
And yeah, I think when I lived there, it was only 25,000 people. So I think West Milford might be a little bit bigger. And then Hoboken was awesome because I'm gonna be honest, like now it's easy to find, but back then, like good quality weed was hard to find. But those damn college students in Hoboken, man, they were the kings. And then you know what it taught me is that if you're ever looking for the stuff and they don't have it around you, go to the colleges. It even works in Mexico City. If you want the good stuff, go to the college kids. I don't know how they do it, but somehow every college kid knows hydroponics. Oh man, actually, no, the Hoboken was so fun. We had these kids, these college kids, like university students, and they had this apartment, but it was the rooms were like 2 stories. We went out and they got all this like metal and wood and everything, and in their living room they built they put on like stilts almost, but they built like a second floor.
Yeah.
And like it was so impressive. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it looked like a construction site style thing. I was like, how do you guys even know how to do this? But like, yeah, they built this complete second floor because of how high the ceiling was and stuff. Like, yeah, no, those Hoboken times were really good. Those college kids were cool.
Wow. Man, all right. So you lived in Jersey for a bit. Man. But yeah, so, yeah. I
actually liked Jersey a lot. The only thing is, stay away from Jersey City. Besides
that. Yeah, Jersey City is like kind of half and half these days. It's like you got like the really nice part that's been built up, and then you still got the hood. But yeah, oh man, that's awesome. So like Parkland was a pretty small town. Like how big is Parkland?
Well, we're directly connected to Tacoma, which is, I don't know, a couple 100,000 people or something. Mm-hmm. So you don't even actually realize it, like, Parkland kind of flows into Tacoma. Okay. But if you actually just, like, cut Parkland in Tacoma or whatever, just the amount of people that live in Parkland, yeah, it's only like 25 or 30. I think it's 35,000 now. It's only like 25. Is Parkland is technically an unincorporated suburb of Tacoma.
Yeah.
Never say that to someone in Parkland. We are our own thing. We are not part of Tacoma, okay? Get those people in Tacoma, Roma, the hell out of here. You're P-Town, the PK, Parkland, baby.
Yes, sir. And you're the prince. You're the prince.
Yeah, I'm the prince of Parkland, yes.
Yeah, so does your family still live there, or did they move out?
No, my sister, my mom, my brother, my dad, like, we all live there.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Man, so, like, what about, and you were talking about Mexico before, like, I never really followed your Mexico, like, career, after Ring of Honor, so, like, you know, tell me a little bit about your Mexico career, like, you know, what was it like, what was the lifestyle like, company, everything, let me know.
Well, how I originally got to Mexico, actually, I was actually in Japan for, like, 2 years of doing, these tours were 3 months on, 1 month off, so I was more in Japan by a lot, like, but, I honestly, I developed a little bit of a drinking problem, I'm just gonna be honest, and freaking, like, I lost my job in Japan, and I broke my face, my oval bone got shattered, pushed through my nasal cavity, like, it was really bad.
Oh, shit.
And then I was recovering from this broken face, this major surgery and everything, and so, man, I was at rock bottom, like, it's the whole deal, like, and then when I finally recovered, like, because I had spent so much time in Japan, I kind of lost my names a bit on the indies because, like even ROH or whatever, like, I could only do a sporadic show, which is like when I had my groups of Ultra Squad or whatever, it never really went anywhere because I was there 2 shows out every 3 months or something, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, like, I really needed something new, and Conan actually called me up and invited me down to Mexico, and the first show I did in Mexico was actually in, I believe it was Cancun. It was Beach City, Playa del Carmen, but I'm pretty sure it was, or was it Cozumel? But it was in the Quintana Roo. I'm pretty sure it's Cancun. So it's like absolute paradise, clear water, beaches, everything. And I was like, boom, I am staying here. So, like, I directly told him, like, and every time, so, like, I'll just move down here to Mexico City, which is far different than Cancun. Mexico City, but Mexico City, they put me up in this place called Hotel Fornos, which is like a hooker motel, and, like, everyone calls it Hotel Fornos because channel 63 and 64 were free porn. But the thing is at that time, anybody that didn't live in Mexico City that was signed to either CMLL or AAA would be put in Hotel Fornos. So that was actually a good time because, like, you just meet all these CMLL guys that you never saw or whatever because you're never on the same show if you're AAA and vice versa.
Right.
So, like, Hotel Fornos was a crazy time because there's just all these wrestlers, like, from, like, maybe not necessarily foreigners from another country, but they weren't Chilangos. They weren't Mexico City. They'd be from somewhere else. So, like, it was a crazy time over at Hotel Pornos. But the other thing is, it's, like, right in Centro. It's right near this place called La Merced and stuff. So it was actually really bad for a lot of those guys because it was in an area where drugs were readily available. So, like, there were some crazy drug-induced times with some of those. Not me, but, like, I was a passive observer in Hotel Fornos. So it was actually kind of crazy. And when I first got to Mexico, this was before this guy Abismo Negro had passed, and, like, the businesses, they just didn't really give a crap about what the wrestlers did. So as long as you weren't open with it, like, we're talking atmosphere, every show, every TV taping, like, I don't want. A lot of craziness in that time in AAA and CMLL up until Pismo Negro died. When he died, they cracked down on everything. They didn't allow that. But so when I first got to Mexico, it was just the locker room was so crazy, like frat house style. Like I can't even begin understated enough.
Right.
And then also when I first got to Mexico, is with this generation is completely different, and like almost everybody's cool. But Mexico back in the day was, as weird as it sounds, like a very light prison politics. Like,
really?
You had your clique, you sit with your people. If you go in the locker room and, like, you sit in a corner and then all of a sudden, like, the Hell Brothers and all their people came over in that corner, you move your stuff. Like there were fights happening between, like, everybody and, like, so many politics going on. Like, since I was one of Conan's guys, Conan Fernetico, so I couldn't be cool with the Hell Brothers, like, so it was a complete culture shock got there, but not because of actual Mexican culture, but because of how crazy the locker rooms were allowed to be. And then, like I said, after Pismo Negro died, though, they just cracked out on every. Weren't allowed to act like that anymore. And then, like, when the office started to crack down on stuff like that, like, guys stopped clicking up so much. It became much more of a unified locker room. Like, it's been years now, but, like, last time I was in AAA, it was such a unified locker room. Like, I mean, obviously people still beef and stuff. They had little problems, whatever. So, like, you had your people, and you sat with them, you talked with them, like, say the bus was completely full, or, like, almost completely full, like, you wouldn't even sit with someone that wasn't in your clique, like, unless you absolutely had to. Like, you'd go and you'd find one of your guys. Like,
right.
It was very weird. Like, it was like a crazy locker room when we first got to AAA. And wrestling was going through a boom period in Mexico then, so there was so much work, and guys just had so much money that it was actually kind of a bad thing for a lot of them. Mm-hmm. So, like, it was a crazy time where, like, after every show, guys would go down to the strip club and bring, like,
So when you were down in Mexico, like, did you ever have to worry about, like, oh my God, I hope the fans don't cheer for me too much in this match against this guy, because otherwise he's going to fuck me up or whatever, because I'm supposed to get over and not him kind of guy?
Not really. What I actually got worried about most in Mexico is kayfabe hadn't been broken yet. Like, I mean, a lot of people, like, realize, but, like, especially in small towns and stuff, it wasn't until that movie, The Luchador, The Wrestler, came out that kayfabe got broken in Mexico. That's what did it. Like, there was no Vince McMahon going on TV, you know what I mean? That didn't happen. So, like, me and Conan did an angle where the original owner of the company, Antonio Pena, had died, and his sister always carried the urn with his ashes in it. So we did an angle where we stole the urn, put his ashes into a hookah, and smoked it. Yeah. And so I'm at a show, like, after that angle had hit TV or whatever, and there's just this lady, and she starts yelling at me, and especially that time I didn't really know Spanish too well, and something about Antonio Pena, what could you do? I was like, oh, Antonio Pena? Yeah, he tasted good. I loved smoking his ashes. Dude, he got her neighborhood. I think it was Joe Leader actually had to pull me away and be like, no, like, you know how these small towns are. Like, she doesn't realize that you're playing a character. She doesn't realize you're a rudo. Like, to her, you legitimately smoked Antonio Pena's ashes, and now you're making fun of the guy. Like, so, like, but yeah, he'd get out there. Like, she literally, like, started to walk back with her neighborhood. I'm talking like 15 people. Wow. So I had to get on the wrestling bus. I think I'm almost positive it was Joe Leader that led me there. Because at first I was like, I'm not gonna leave. Like, who cares? This is right. You know what I mean? But, like, he's like, no, don't you understand? Like, they 100% think you really disrespected this guy. You really stole these urns, and you really smoked his ashes. So that was one of the weird things about Mexico was that I wasn't saying not being broken. You know what I mean?
Right, because in America it's been broken.
In America, that, you know what I mean? And I'll joke around with it because both know it's an angle. But, like, no, when you're people, man, this lady, huge AAA fan, legit thought I smoked Antonio Pena's ashes. She's ready for war.
So when you were living in there, do you speak fluent Spanish now after spending years there?
Yeah, I know, because I still have such a problem with like a lot of times I'll need to say like Tenia and I'll say like Tenido or something like so. I can talk Spanish as long as we're not talking in the past. I never have been able to get the past verb conjugation correct.
You know what? Who knows? Maybe that's fate. Because we're in the now, and we we leave the past behind and we go forward, that kind of thing. So maybe, hey, it's metaphorical, right?
Yeah, it could be. Or what I try to tell everyone is that Mexico needs to change Spanish and replace it with my own invented language called Inglendio, in which you use American rules but replace them with Spanish words.
Yeah.
So the conjugation no longer matters. Tengo, tienes, tienen,
yeah.
They all mean the same thing. All that matters is the pronoun. So normally in Spanish, like tu tengo or something doesn't make sense. It should be tu tienes.
Right.
But in Inglendiol, all that matters is that you said tu. So you can say tu tienes, tu tengo, tu tienen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All that matters is pronoun. If it's tu, I'm talking about you. We don't need any of these other conjugations. We don't need yo tengo. No. Tu tengo, me,
let's do it. Let's do it, Jack. Let's.
Right my life mission, and it's starting right here. Convert Mexico to speaking Inglendiol. American rules with Spanish words. It's the way of the future, guys.
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'm all for it. Let's start this petition. Man, so I know we were talking about Ted before. Do you still keep in touch with him? Like, do you know what he's up to these days?
No, not really.
Because
I'm like Mr. Fan mode or whatever, and so I still like him and everything, but we just lead completely different lifestyles. Where you know what I mean? He's just, you know what I mean? He's still in wants to drive fast cars and go, you know what I mean, like that or whatever. And I'm like, man, I want to sit home, put my kids to sleep, and then play a little bit of DNF Duel. You know what I mean? So, we just grew apart. There's no, real beef or whatever. But, so, I haven't talked to him in years. But.
Yeah, because we were trying to see if we could interview him, too, for PW Mania. We haven't been able to get in touch with him, though. So, yeah, we were just wondering. But.
Oh, you know what? You should try to get a hold of, oh my God, she'd be so mad I forgot her name. Stacy, the Heart Legacy Wrestling on Twitter. She's in constant contact with him.
Oh, really?
She's a nice lady. Yeah, her name's Stacy, and so there's a Twitter account called Heart Legacy Wrestling or something like that. I can't remember. And she's in constant contact with him. So if you get a hold of Stacy at the Heart Legacy Wrestling, I believe it's called, she'll be able to get you in touch with him.
Oh, appreciate it. Oh, thanks. I'll let Andy know. I appreciate that, man. Man, so...
Actually, I think she just sent me an email. I got to email her back.
Okay. Thanks, man. Thanks. What was I going to say? So, how old are your kids, by the way?
7, and my son is 3.
Nice. Have they seen you wrestle yet?
Yeah, my son only once, but my daughter's been to quite a few shows. So, yeah.
No, she's into it. Not scared Dad's gonna get hurt.
No, she's really into it, and so is my son, but in the funniest way, because when he watches the wrestling, Def takes after his dad, all he notices is the Daredevil stuff. I swear to God. Now his big thing is we have a bunk bed, and it's pretty high up. And he'll get this thin little mat, and he puts it on the ground, even though he's only 3. And then he'll jump off of the top bunk and do these planches onto the little mat. And when I caught him doing it, I was freaking out because it's a good 5 foot. But for a 3-year-old, but somehow he doesn't get hurt or whatever. So I had to put a squash on it and stop letting him do it. But for a little while, I was just amazed. I was like, how is this kid doing these it's essentially jumping from the top rope onto the floor, onto your stomach, with nothing but a thin little mat, and then he would eat it up. He'd think it was the funniest thing, and like, so he definitely likes the wrestling, but he likes the Daredevil side of things. But
so like,
I had to put a stop because like it's only a matter of time before he hurts himself.
That's right. Who knows, man? That'll be the new. He'll be the new Jack. What's up?
I gotta plug in my phone.
Gotcha. It's dying.
Low and it drains at an increased speed. Like I went from 37 to like 11% in this time.
Holy crap!
Yeah, so like, I'm like, man, I don't want to be replacing a phone right now.
Yeah, no worries, man. Well, speaking of Daredevil stuff, like, I mean, you know, when it comes to like your style of wrestling, like, were you a Daredevil growing up? Like, did you do skydiving? Did you do like motocross or anything like that, or did that thing only come out in wrestling?
No, but I didn't do any skydiving or anything. But like I definitely was the Daredevil kid because we would just dare each other to do stupid things, and then there's actually this show called MTV Unfiltered, and they would like sit down cameras and let people like record themselves doing stupid crap. And one of them, these kids recorded themselves doing this thing they called freestyle walking, and they were just like goofing around and like doing all this stupid like stuff like as walking, like while they were walking. And then, but when we saw that, we were like, oh my god, it's like skateboarding without a skateboard. So we started freestyle walking, where it'd be like you run, you front flip on top of a freaking like park bench, and then round off the back flip over. You know what I mean? So almost like a skateboard run, but like without the skateboard.
Right.
And then so like for me, it was kind of like early parkour. Because even though parkour now has all these rules, or whatever, like this was just like, hey, look at that big toy. I'm gonna freaking flip on top of it, climb up there, and then get on the top and do a backflip, full twist off or something. Like, so me and my friends did a lot of Daredevil stuff. Like it was kind of pre-parkour. Like it was just like stunting off stuff, but not in the same way. It was just like, what kind of cool trick can you do based on your environment? Like,
so like, what keeps you going after 20-something years of doing this? Like, what keeps you wrestling? What?
In all honesty, like right now, like it goes up and down. Like love for wrestling, kind of like there are some times where like I get kind of lazy. I don't want to say sick of it, but I'm just not motivated to like really like go for it or whatever. But like now, after I kind of feel like I just completely dropped the ball and failed on my AEW run. So like that's what motivates me is like, man, I just, even if I'm the most remembered for that, because that's kind of the most mainstream promotion I've ever been in, I do want people in the know to know like I was better than what I showed in the AEW. So that's kind of been my motivation lately, is just kind of like, almost like in a weird way, like for myself, even more so than the fans, being truthful, like it was almost kind of like redeeming my AEW failure.
I was hoping that you would have stuck around there, and that we would have gotten to see a little bit more of you. But I guess it is what it is. Do you ever see yourself going back there or anywhere else?
I don't obviously love to go back because, like I said, everyone likes to beat on salary with all of them. But I don't see myself going back, not because I wouldn't want to, but because what's the word? Like it's such a hotly sought after promotion to be signed to that everyone and their mom is trying to go there, and they already got like a roster of like, at one point I believe they had 113 people under contract. I know it's obviously gone down now, but like, so it's just so big and so many young and hungry guys, and everyone wants to be there. So like, I mean, I'd love to go back, but I just don't think it'll like realistically happen. Like, because I mean, if we're being truthful and you're managing AEW, like, why give 40-year-old Jack a second chance when you got like 25-year-old freaking, I don't know, someone else or whatever. So it was good. It was a good time there. I loved AEW and everything, and I would love to go back. But I don't think it's going to happen.
How about ROH? Do you think you see yourself ever ending up back there?
I would love to, because except for AAA, because I was just there so like, which was like a big dysfunctional family. I kind of consider ROH still to this day my home promotion. Like it really is what kind of set my career off, or whatever. So I'd love to wrestle for ROH again. But yeah, I don't know if that'll happen or not. I think me wrestling for ROH is probably a little more realistic than me going back to AEW. But even then, I don't know how. How likely that is, because once again, like ROH is now seen as a stepping stone almost to AEW,
right? So
it's in the same position, got 1.5 million guys that want to go there or whatever, and like, and again, my shot, and then it just kind of was like ho-hum mediocre. So like, truthfully, if you're management and wrestling promotion, like, you probably are going to like try to give someone else that's younger like that kind of shot. Well, I just don't think that there's enough real estate in AEW or ROH for me, considering how many guys want to be there.
I really hope we see you back somewhere at some point, man. Because I mean, I always enjoyed your work growing up, and I mean, if a guy like Eddie Kingston can like make it onto TV, the way that he did, after like so many years in the game, I think you could do it too, dude.
Well, I hope so, man. The only thing is, they will not give me the mic, and as long as you put me in a mic battle, I am a microphone murderer.
You are.
And I'm going out there. I actually think there was sabotage in AEW behind not giving me the mic, because there was actually a point at one time where like it became kind of a wide thing in the locker room. Like, man, have you listened to the promos Jack just cuts normally? Like, how come no one ever gives him the mic? How come no one ever gives him the mic? And like, then I was even scheduled for promo, and they got cut and canceled. And like, so I was in this conspiracy theory. I was like, man, what is it? Why won't they give me the mic? And then the big running theory that some people say is because I'm a heel who buries faces, like on my mic work. Like, I'm very like, oh, I'm going to you own something, it's not yours, I'm going to take that shit back in blood. Like, and then I really go off on like, it's almost like a little battle rap that doesn't rhyme. And then so I've been told that's bad as a heel, because you don't want a heel that buries the face.
Yeah, but even so, like, I think even if you did that, like, I mean, I'm sure the guys that you would be going up against, like, they would, I don't think that would destroy their careers, you getting on the mic, doing what you do.
But, guys will boom the face. If you're in a face versus heel feud, and all of a sudden the heel takes the mic and is just cooler than you and is just dissing the crap out of you, guys will boom the face quick. The face will boom the face quick.
Yeah.
Oh, and boo-boo face, that's when they're irritated that something's not going their way. Like, so, like, if someone gets upset they have to job, they're boo-boo face. And if someone gets upset they got pissed in a promo, they're boo-boo face.
Boo-boo face.
So, but, yeah, boo-boo face. They used to be 7 more. I don't think they used to be days anymore. Or much anymore. But, yeah, no, that's the problem with youngins as a heel. You want to get yourself over, but if someone has more clout in the business with you and they're the face, you got to be careful, because they will boo-boo face the office.
Those boo-boo facers, dude.
Boo-boo faces, yeah. Man, there's a whole bunch of old school words that don't get used anymore. No one calls anyone a stooge anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you never hear rats anymore. You never hear about boo-boo facing. Like, come on, people. We need to bring back the wrestling lingo.
Yeah.
Okay?
If anybody can do it, it's you, Jack, as long as they give you the mic.
Yeah, just give me the mic. We'll talk about these rats boo-boo facing on the Stooges.
See, and that's flowing right there, man. Yeah, and like you said, it's a battle rap that doesn't rhyme. Have you ever tried to rap, actually?
Me and my friends used to do it like a little bit, but nothing like recorded or anything. Mm-hmm. But no, the main thing I used to do when I was a kid is there's this game we called it the Dozens, but like different schools called it different things. Like for us, it was the Dozens. For like Collins, or I think it was they called it cracking on each other.
Okay.
And then like Elmhurst, this other school, they called it snapping on each other.
Okay.
But essentially at recess, you would stand in front of a person and you would just say the most horrific things you could possibly think of, wishing death on their family, that the kids get hit by a bullet, or not the kids, but like that. And so that's what I was actually much more into than actual rapping. is like just sitting there playing the dozens. But you couldn't do the dozens these days.
But that sounds like good battle rap material, though. You say the worst shit about them.
Like horrific descriptions of murdering your friend's family and stuff. Like, that was just the game. It's just go over the top as possible. And it actually all started. There's this Method Man song, M-E-T-H-O-D, man.
Yep,
well,
M-E-T-H-O-D, man.
And in the beginning, he's like, I'm going to take your asshole, and I'm going to sew it shut.
And keep feeding you, and feeding you, and feeding you. I remember that. It's like
that's how it started. Once everyone heard that, like, it just instantly, I don't know how, it was one of those things where it's connected with everybody.
Yep.
Everyone was like, oh, okay, I'm going to stand in front of people. I'm going to start dissing them like Method Man does.
Yep.
So, it all started from that Method Man song. And then people started snapping, cracking, dozens, what everybody calling on each other. And, I know it sounds really bad, but, it was all good fun. And so it was actually, it was good times, for as far as, wishing death upon people. You said some stuff, but I mean, it was actually, for as it sounds, it wasn't actually like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was all
exactly. It was all good. It was all good fun. But yeah, dude. Yeah, I loved that album that Method Man was on with Cream and everything.
Man. Oh man, when I first saw Man video, oh god, I had to go down to the Coleman Ball and get a freaking what was it, those green army jackets, I forget what they called it, a Method Man have.
Right.
And I looked ridiculous. I'd be in the mirror with that little stupid green jacket, M-E-T-H-O-D, man. And pantomime me that I was hey, you get off my club,
you don't know me, you don't know my style.
My style. Yeah. God damn it, I have to download that song again now. I'm so happy. Okay, this interview is already the best interview ever. I forgot about that song.
Dude, you're the man. But yeah, no, I've seen him live. I've seen Wu-Tang all together, and then I've also seen Method Man and Redman live, and they're fun.
Yeah, that's, man, that's just the greatest duo ever. They just had such the Rockwilder on.
Yo, the Rockwilder is my shit.
100%. The only thing I hate about it is it's 2 minutes and 16 seconds long or something. It's god damn it, add another verse.
Right, exactly. At least make it as long as Blackout.
Something.
I'm hot scorching and stone cold like Steve Austin. If you smell what's a cow cooking.
Oh man, do you remember Gravel Pit? Oh god, now there's so much Wu-Tang I have to get in.
Wu-Tang forever, man.
Oh god, no, I'm reminiscing about those old school rap songs.
I know. Well, that's pretty much all I listen to is old school rap, old school punk rock. I mean, I listen to new stuff too, but my heart is with the old school.
I do, if I come across something I like, I'll listen to new stuff, but I really am stuck between 95-ish, or maybe even a little bit earlier, but around 95, 2008. And then after that, it really started, that's 90% of my music comes from that time.
Yeah. It's there's a sweet spot. So for you, it's 95 to 2008. Yeah, for me, it's because 95 I was still a little kid, but I mean, I still listen to music from back then too. But yeah, I would say it would go from 95 till maybe about 2000, probably 17. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's got a big taste of music then.
Yeah, I mean, I listen to everything. I grew up on hip hop, rock, metal, whatever you like. Oh, what about you? Are you mostly a hip hop guy, or do you like other genres too?
I was mainly a hip hop guy, and then a little bit of punk, but now it's just completely because YouTube, what I did is I used to have to go to this gym that was 45 minutes away,
mm-hmm.
and I would just walk it because in Mexico City, a 45-minute walk is a 40-minute drive. It's just how traffic works. I put my headphones, and I just find the weirdest playlists of these,
mm-hmm.
and one of them, It's not one of my favorites, but it's actually, and he was like dark carnival music, where it was like circus music, but like dark themed. Like it was not bad. But then like I found like a genre called dark country that I really liked. Then I found like, oh man, this bluegrass rap, and then man, like, knew about it, but then I really fell in love with like punk, and then like, yeah, oh man, yeah. And then also, there's all these bands that I used to listen to before I was even young, like these like punk bands like Rocket from the Crypt and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah,
they've come back to my life. I completely forgot about them, and then oh man, I love this band called Mindless Self Indulgence.
Oh yeah, the
But then
bass.
I found out Jimmy Urine was in a relationship with a 15-year-old,
What?
and so now I have this hardest time where it's like, man, I love the music, but I don't want to support this kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
Right. No, I know what you mean. But yeah, dude, I used to. I used to love what was it? Shut Me Up or something. It's
like, I'm waiting for you to shut me up.
in a fucking minute.
Oh man, no, they actually have a whole bunch of good ones. Like the entire Frankenstein Girls Will Seem Strangely Sexy album is good. They actually are like one of the most underrated bands in my mind. I can't believe the lead singer did that. But they have so many. It's one of those bands where like every month I'll like switch what my favorite album is from them. Like I really liked Mind the Self Indulgence when I was younger. I still like him now, but like I'm not as angsty. You know what I mean? So, like,
not as angsty.
yeah, so it's a little bit harder for me to like freaking my little dyed bangs and being like, I never wanted to dance.
Yeah. So like,
but yeah, so now I'm all over the map musically. But for most of my life, or I should say, from like whenever Biggie's Juicy came out,
yeah,
is when kind of rap started. Actually, no, I'd still say kind of pop. I was still actually a little bit more Weezer and Green Day, and like at that time. And but that was kind of the catalyst for me switching over to hip hop. Was definitely B.I.G.'s Juicy.
Yeah, that was such a great record. Oh man, you know.
Oh, one of my favorite. Like, if I'm ever depressed, like, oh man, I'm down to 5%.
Holy shit.
The phone hasn't been charging at all. I'm sorry if this hangs up.
Yeah, no worries, Jack. Take your time, dude.
What's going on? No. Don't tell me my charger is completely broke. Okay, I'm just going to hold it in here and hope for the best.
I appreciate that, dude. but yeah, no, Juicy was one of my favorite. One of my favorite Biggie songs is, that is my top. And then I also love Notorious Thugs that he did with Bone Thugs.
I always thought Who Shot Ya was really good.
Who Shot Ya was dope.
Then, I'm a huge Hypnotize fan. I think everyone is, though. That's
yeah, Hypnotize is great. Kicking the door.
Right, man, me and Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, and WWE, we used to. And I was always on the Biggie thing. But as I've grown older, I've actually maybe kind of switched. Like,
I've always liked Tupac better. But what's your reasoning, though? I'm curious.
Well, for me, because back then I was really just like that guy that like boomed through lyrics and would like completely be like, "Oh no, that wasn't creative line. I don't know how to put it." Like a snobby rap listener, a little bit. Like,
no, I used to be too. Like, I mean, I used to be particular.
And so I think, like, flow-wise and just for the creativity, that Biggie is the better rapper. But then the thing is, with Tupac, is he just has this, like, delivery and, like this emotion behind it.
Yeah.
That makes him better now. Like, so, like, even though he doesn't have these complicated rhyme schemes or, like, he almost always raps with essentially the same flow, like now that I listen to Tupac, like it emotionally resonates with me more. Just like the messages, how he delivers it. But when Tupac delivers something, it doesn't sound like he's rapping or anything like that. Like, it sounds like he's like talking to you on a level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's
so
like.
I don't know the proper word, but his delivery. So like he really seems like off, you know what I mean, like authentic with what he says. He's not at all playing a character. He really just like from Brenda's Got a Baby and everything, just like the subjects he touched on and everything. So like I love Biggie and I love those like games, you know, the Who Shot Ya, you know what I mean? I love all those. But now that like, you know, I'm a middle-aged family man, like a lot of the just Tupac raps hit or like hit with me more. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but
Yeah,
they mean more to me now.
I agree. Tupac, he was yeah, because I even appreciated him back then too. Like you said, it sounded like he was talking to you. Sounds like he was telling you a story, and that I also watched a lot of his interviews where he would talk about, you know, just like about anything, and just like the way that he was speaking. It's like he was very well spoken. He communicated very clearly, and you could tell there was like passion in his voice for whatever he said. He could be talking about like going to the playground or something as mundane as going to the playground, and it sounds amazing.
Yeah, and 100% honest even in those interviews. Like it never sounded like it was some kind of like filler little chit chat like, oh yeah, I like going to the playground, it's fun. He'd be like, I like going to the play, you know, and he'd tell you something about the playground, you know what I mean? Like, so like I don't know how to explain it, but with him, like
No,
everything was always like on the level. I don't know how to explain it. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, no, I know exactly what you're talking about because yeah, because I'm a huge music head myself, and little plug here, I'm actually a hip hop artist myself.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I go by Brett
oh,
D.
what way?
I go by Brett D. I've been rapping since I was 18. Been doing it since high school. I I only started taking it seriously about a couple of years ago, though. As far as like getting my stuff like a little bit more professionally recorded and like doing shows and all that. Cause like, I'd been doing it since I was 18, but back then I was like doing it for fun. And after a while I was like, you know what? Like I have a day job. I, you know, nothing's really, let me see what I can do. Like if I actually like put time and money into this. And like I've gotten involved with like the local underground hip hop scene over in central Jersey here. So it's and it's amazing. Like it's just like, I've loved music my whole life, and it's it just like it brings joy to my heart whenever I get to rap.
You need to get a hold of. I'm telling you. Do you know Ash Samuels? He's a promoter he used to be lit from Special K, Wrestling. He's from Jersey. You would love to talk to him, like because like he does a little bit of rap too, and like he has that same kind of passion they have about music. Like you can hear when you talk. Like he used to do battle rap. Like he was actually in King of the Dot and stuff.
Oh no way!
I mean, this is a decade ago or something. You know what I mean? But like, and he won his battle and everything. It's like, yeah, you should try to get a hold of Ash Samuels, Catalyst Wrestling. He's from Jersey.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I'll have to.
Yeah. But he is that same. The way you speak about music, he's like that too. Where he's just that. You know, everyone loves music, but there's some people that got that little love or whatever. Like he's like that.
Yeah, and like a lot of music that I found, no matter what genre it is, a lot of it in the beginning, when I was really getting into music, was from wrestling. Like from you, I must have learned about 6 or 7 songs that I hadn't heard at the time. Born to Win, 911, Bully.
Oh, God, that was another good one.
I love Bully, bro. That's one of my favorite diss tracks.
Yeah, it is. But again, I actually don't think Bully is a very good entrance song. I love the song, but that's the one thing I'd actually, for my a little bit more hype.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because like Bully, it's like you got to listen to the lyric because it's just him making fun of Benzino and Ja the whole time, and it's like
one of some of the best disses ever, or whatever. Like some of them aren't even that good disses, but again, it's like his just delivering and flow, and like he's like he sits around. I can't remember the lyrics, but like man, it's such a good song.
I'm withholding my anger, though I like to be the strangler of this punk ass little pussy's puny neck.
Yeah. Okay, you remember it.
Of course, and I mean, don't get me going. I'll sing the whole song because.
Official music video? Is that you?
What's up?
Brett D. Reboot official music video?
Yeah, that's me. Oh, you looked me up. Yep, that was one of the first music videos that I did.
Oh, man, no, you weren't lying. You weren't lying.
Thanks, man.
No, but if you haven't, you got to check out Brett D.
Oh, you the man, dude.
Other ones. Oh, yeah, I'm going to be giving you a look here after this.
Appreciate it, man.
Office Party.
Yeah, Office Party, I love. That's one of my favorites. My boss at my day job. Like, this isn't my day job what I do. This is just something I do because I love, but I work in IT as a day job, and, like, my boss loves that song, Office Party.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You know what you need to do? Make a diss track against your boss.
He would love that, actually. He's like a chill ass dude. I used to do that when I was like 18, 19. Like, I remember I got into a battle with like one of the other rappers who was in my grade, and like it was like a whole big thing. It was like, oh my god, like these guys are rapping. And then it was like there was another guy a year later, before I was Brett D, I used to go by D Murda. And
oh no.
it's not that serious, Jack. It was just like I thought it was cool because one of my friends back in the MySpace days, he called himself P Murda as his display name, and I thought that it was cool. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Let me be D Murda. So like I was
C Murder. Didn't C Murder go to jail? Maybe.
Yeah, I think is C Murder still in jail?
I don't know. I think he might have actually gotten out. I think they be innocent or something. I'm almost positive that he got out because isn't he the one? He went to jail because a battle rapper got shot. He got blamed for it or something like that, right?
That was C Murder.
I'm pretty sure, and I think he actually ended up getting out. I might be wrong, but I think they actually ended up like overturning the case or whatever the word is, but I'm not positive on that one.
Hmm. And I haven't heard C Murder in forever.
That was a long ass time ago.
You know, people are still waiting on Max B to get out.
Oh, that's the name I haven't heard in forever.
Same. Oh,
you know what I couldn't believe? This actually is maybe before your time.
What's that?
But there used to be these rappers. They were like horrorcore guys before there was even horrorcore had like a genre. You know what I mean? Like Ghetto Boy style. But it called Brother Lynch and X-Rated. And I never knew what happened to X-Rated. And he actually ended up on one of his albums. He was holding a gun that was used in a murder, and they actually used that as evidence against him in this murder. So he ended up going to jail for 25 years.
What?
So if anyone ever wondered what happened to X-Rated, that was it.
X-Ray. Yeah, I think that was. Yeah, I think that may have been before my time, or unless when were they around?
We're talking 1990, 91, 92, maybe. Like.
Oh yeah, 92. 92 is when I was born, so that's probably why.
Okay, yeah. Like, and so pre-NWA or right around the NWA time, like that was it. Okay. Like when they first came out, when they were still all together and everything. Mm-hmm. That's when Brother Lynch and X-Rated were around. But they were total horrorcore guys. Like, what's Papa bringing home for a treat? It's going to be a slab of human meat or something like that. I can't remember how the rhyme went. But like, we're not like cutting cannibalizing. You know what I mean? Like,
I know it's so funny how deep hip hop goes because like. I remember I was listening to an old Eminem freestyle with him and Royce. He was like, I'm keeping it raw, illegal like Malik and Jamal, because I don't believe in the law like I'm Steven Seagal. And when he said illegal like Malik and Jamal, I was like, who are Malik and Jamal? And then I looked it up. I was like, oh, they were a rap group called Illegal. I don't know if you knew them.
I listened to them, but yeah.
Yeah, it was like.
They're old. That would be before your time too, though.
Yeah, that was like. Sorry.
Honestly, they might even be like late '80s.
They were like little kids. Yeah, they were dissing Crisscross and all them.
I freaking.
I was listening to Head or Gut after I found out about them. Head or Gut, where you want a head or gut? What?
Oh, never mind. Their first album was in '93.
Okay,
But still,
so I was one.
Yeah. And you know who I miss is the Roots.
The Roots are great, and they're still touring. They're still touring.
Are they? Oh, I didn't even know that because I was like, I also haven't been looking, but I was like, man, I haven't heard about them putting out an album and like since what's his name broke off and made his own album, The Corner, like 20 years ago now.
Was it Questlove?
Huh?
Was it Questlove?
No. Which one was it?
Or Black Thought?
I think it might have been. Maybe. Who? No.
But yeah, they're still around, man. Yeah, but I agree, they're amazing.
Oh, Common. I'm so stupid. It was Common. Yes.
It was Common.
Oh, I can't believe I got that. Yeah, I used to listen to that. Oh, God. I'm getting too old, and my memory's gone. Yeah, Common. That's actually a super good album, The Corner.
Mm-hmm.
By Common. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's funny. You're getting too old. You said you were getting too old. So like, if I'm 30, so that means you just turned 40 this year.
Yeah.
How does it feel, man?
Good. Like I don't know. Honestly, not much changed. So.
Yeah, I always hear like differing opinions. You know, some people say, "Oh my God, I'm 40, my life's over," and then other people say, "Holy crap, yeah, 40 is like the best time of my life."
Yeah, like it's good. Like I don't know. Like I want to say it's the best time of my life or bad. It's just kind of like, well, nothing's really changed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, except for my memory going. So.
Man.
Actually, I think that looks worse.
What time is it over there right now? Are you in California? Are you in Washington?
It's 8:23 right here now.
Oh, it's 8:23. Oh, so you're in the Midwest?
I'm in Chicago right now.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep, Chicago, because tomorrow, Mike Speedball is gonna get it because I am supposed to be the X Division champion. I was supposed to be at the goddamn Destination X match, whatever the hell it's called.
Ultimate X.
Because Impact Wrestling made the grave and stupid mistake of taking me out of the match because I suffered a concussion the previous day.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of the Impact fans have to suffer through the ungodly, horrible reign of Mikey Speedball. But Impact fans, I am definitely not the hero you deserve because you don't deserve anything. But I am the hero you got because I am here to take back what is rightfully mine and become the X Division champion tomorrow right here in Chicago. It'll probably be the most important thing that has ever happened in the wrestling scene in Chicago. And I just want you all to know you're freaking welcome. You're all freaking welcome for me ending the tyrannical reign of the fecal-handed freaking Mikey, whatever the hell his last name is, Bailey. Damn it. So yeah, okay, sorry, I had to cut the little promo.
And you know,
I'm upset I got pulled from the X Division match.
Dude, no, I appreciate that. Dude, that was awesome. Yeah. So,
but yeah, no, that sucked. Actually, I was so looking forward to that. I keep calling it Destination X match, but what is the name of that stupid match?
Ultimate X, right?
The Ultimate X. God, yeah. Those people. Okay, and now I said nothing changed to 40. Memory. Okay. That match so bad. It was such a great collection of people. I showed up with all these ideas, and then my thing was I was totally kayfabing that I had gotten the concussion the previous day because I knew instantly, like they knew.
Yeah.
Goddamn Scott D'Amore freaking posted it on Twitter. He saw it, and I got that little talk. It's like, oh, Jack. I saw the video. Sorry, I got to pull you from the match. So, I've been bitter. I've been bitter ever since that happened. No, I'm not doing this TNA. It totally was a smart move. Like, it was dumb of me to actually try to hide the concussion and wrestle. So, no, I don't want to sound like I'm actually bad-mouthing Impact for
no, I know.
That was the wise move.
Oh, no worries, dude. I got you. No, I appreciate it.
But yeah, anyone who does it like that knows, like, you do not ever want to be pulled from a match like that you're excited for.
Yeah.
So it killed me. It killed me. And I had a match the next day, so like, I got pulled off both of them.
Man.
So I just, out of left field, went on a little rant about that. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, bro. No, dude, this is what it's all about, man. It's raw, it's edited, unedited, uncut. Love it, man. Yeah, but I think, I think I'm gonna wrap this up in a little bit though, because I do have to go to sleep soon, because I do have work in the AM.
It's 9:30 where you're at, right? If you're in Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey. So yeah, I usually go to bed around 10-ish or so. But yeah, no, dude, I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. And also, I wanted to say one more thing. Thank you very much for being so kind to me when I was 15, because like back then, like I was like a nervous kind of dude. And I remember like when I came up to you to ask for a picture, I was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, man. I don't mean to pester you, but can I get a picture?" And you were like, "No, trust me, dude. It is not pestering at all." And you just like posed with me and all that. So I thank you for being so nice to me, man.
Oh, no problem. I really think, like, I honestly am the most approachable wrestler in the world, though. So if anyone ever wants a picture, don't ever apologize for it. I'm pretty much always down. The only thing is, actually, I do want is because the tactic with that helico is sometimes if a wrestler is rude for like someone asking a picture or something like that, you do got to remember there might be something else going on.
Right.
Because like helico are generally the most approachable wrestlers in wrestling. Like we'll hang out, we'll do everything. But like, man, there was like these couple of fans that had these really bad stories of Angelico. You must have caught him when he was in a fight with this girl or something, because generally he's like, or whatever.
Right.
But yeah. So I babbled a little bit. I don't know how you got on that subject.
Nah, it's no worries, man. Yeah, I appreciate it. And looking forward to your match on Impact tomorrow, and thanks again for talking music with me and everything, dude. This was awesome. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, man. I feel like we got distracted. We went like 90% was us talking about 90s and early 2000s rap, and we barely talked about wrestling.
Nah, it's all good, bro. We talked about Ring of Honor, we talked about Mexico, and I mean, this is just like, this is what I love. This is what I love about this gig that I do with PW Manias. I get to have conversations with people, whether we talk about wrestling or talk about your kids or your passions or whatever. I get to know the person, and it's all good, bro.
Nice. Okay, good.
So I appreciate it, man. So yeah. You have a good rest of your night, man. And, hopefully
out. Well. Oh, and also, I'm just going to remind you, Heart Legacy Wrestling, Stacy, that should be your contact to get a hold of Ted.
Yep.
And then I'm telling you, like, talking to you, I really think you would get along with Ash Samuels from Catalyst Wrestling. Like,
I just copied his name now, so Catalyst Wrestling, you said, right?
Yep. And I think they're on IWTV. So.
Oh, perfect. I'm going to check these guys out. Yeah. So, thanks again, Jack.
I just had a good one with Colby Carino.
Oh,
Very
yeah?
Very talented, Colby. It's, man, I'm so sorry. I know he's trying to go, but that's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
Is that I used to wrestle with Steve Carino.
I remember.
And, like, I mean, I'm talking Colby with Evie. Yeah. And then now, like, I'm wrestling, like, and he's like in his like earlier mid-20s.
He's like 26 now, I think. Yeah.
like two generations of wrestling, like the father and the son or whatever. It was a weird moment for me.
I know. I remember the first time I had heard mention of Colby Carino's name was when Carino was having the barbed wire match with Homicide, and Gabe was doing commentary. He was like, "Oh my God, Steve Carino's son Colby is in attendance tonight." Carino's getting ripped up by Homicide or like something like that.
Dang, Carino, what are you doing? Trying to trauma out your kid? What are you doing bringing him to a barbed wire match?
I know, right? And that was vicious. That was a vicious match between him and Homicide that night.
Oh, this is a weird skill to have, but Steve Carino is one of the best bleeders of all time.
Yeah.
So whenever he was in a hardcore match, you just knew it was going to be the Crimson Mask, like. He's actually super underrated. He's one of the best. Different thing, you have your like like an AEW or whatever, you know what I mean, where you have like a constant TV and constant storylines or whatever.
Yeah.
But then you also have a lot of indies that will be one-off shows where like those style shows,
right?
You just need to be able to get in the ring and piss people off. And I swear to God, for like a one-off show heel, like just someone like the fans don't know who you are, we need to send someone out there to piss them off and get them into the show. Mm-hmm. Steve Corino was number one. Like, man, you be at these little small towns where they're only at the wrestling show because nothing else goes on there. They don't watch wrestling. They don't know wrestling. Right. It's the deadest thing, doing 6:30s and no one cares. All of a sudden, you send Steve Corino out there, and you would just hear these goddamn boos like it was an arena, and you're like, what is going on?
Oh.
And you look through the curtain, and there'd be Steve Corino just cutting some promo, and he's just being a whiny little prick and everything.
I know.
And I've never seen one that could instantly make people hate them like Steve Corino could.
Dude,
like,
it's so funny you mentioned that because I was there for one of those because it was the match with him and Adam Pearce against Homicide and BJ Whitmer and Edison. And I remember Corino comes out, everybody's chanting what's that? Yeah, sorry. So everybody's chanting Homicide. Corino grabs the mic. He was like, what, is this chant supposed to make me scared or something? He was like, the only thing that scares me is the amount of ugly fat people in this building. And then like one guy took his shirt off and was like, fuck you, Steve. And Steve goes, hey, referee, can you go milk him? He goes like, enjoy the heart attack, moron. Yo, and the craziest thing about that, what happened after that was that, you remember the Green Lantern fan?
Oh, yeah, GLF.
Yeah, GLF. His dad was there that night, and they saw him out there. Yeah, and Corino like gets up to him. He was like, how does it feel to have the biggest piece of shit for a son? He was like, oh, that's
right here that time. Man, GLF had so much heat just with fans and the boys and everything. What a line!
I know. He was like, oh, did I touch a nerve, old man? Yeah, stick your finger up. When I come out there later, I'll kick you in your hip.
Oh, God. See, that's what I'm talking about. Like, for a one-off heel, he really is like that did not give a shit to react like Steve Corino could get them to react. And he had the style. Actually, when I was in Lucha Underground and I was going to be a heel, I studied Steve Corino promos because he has this weird gimmick where, like, he would be whiny and he'd pretend like he was the victim and he would blame the people. And like, he always had this weird way of rationalizing it, like, I'm not the champion right now because you did, and I don't want you to screw me. Like, just like whiny excuse-making style. Yeah. And like, I've always tried to copy it in like my heel work because, like, yeah, he actually, man, I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm telling anyone watching this, you should do a film study of Steve Corino. Like, he has some of the best heel work ever. And again, it's that heel work where it's not even the constant TV and a storyline that's happening every week. He would just grab the mic and he could just get people to.
Exactly. Like, even like before his matches when Bobby Cruz used to announce them and he would name every single championship that Corino ever has held.
Yeah, just annoying ass shit like that, yeah.
Oh, man. Oh, I appreciate the convo, Jack. This was good, bro.
So. All right, nice. I'm glad. Sorry, I babble sometimes to get off subject, but...
Nah, no worries, bro. Love it. But dude, appreciate it, man. Thanks for everything. And, hopefully our paths will cross again soon. And you know this, man. Yeah. Thank you. Boom.
Boom.